Hello, and welcome to another episode of Brettcast Gaming Talk. Magic the Gathering is one of the most popular card games ever, both in the physical and digital sense. It's very hard for other card games that are not Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh! To be able to compete with the success of MTG, which is evident with how things like the Transformers trading card game was cancelled because it couldn't get the numbers that Magic the Gathering can, and both are owned by Hasbro and both were being made by Wizards of the Coast. On the digital front, we had the ever-popular Magic Duels, which finally shut down servers in 2019, and the current Magic the Gathering Arena. This is that most of their video game versions of Magic the Gathering are just digital representations of the card game. No one has really tried to do anything different in the video game space with the Magic the Gathering name. But back in 2019, during the Game Awards, developer Cryptic Studios decided that they were going to try something different with Magic the Gathering, and that's when they showed off the trailer for Magic Legends. Now, I was personally very interested in this because it looked like, an action RPG game in the world of Magic the Gathering. I kept watching the game's site for any hints of a release date, but I never saw anything past information about their closed beta, which I was never a part of, but I did see gameplay of on YouTube, and the game looked pretty interesting. The thing is, though, Magic Legends got cancelled on October 31st, 2021, before it even got out of beta and into full release, and I want to know why, and I'm sure that other people would like to know why as well. Now, from some research, one of the reasons it didn't do well there was a lack of content, and what there was in content was not thought out very well. It does the action RPG thing of fighting large amounts of monsters, and that's kind of it. I've also found that the game sort of made it difficult for players that want to experiment with different kind of decks. See, the power of your character is tied to however high or low your spells in your deck are. This means that the ones you typically use are going to be higher level, and the ones you don't use all that much are going to be low level. So trying out different deck combinations is actually more of a bad thing the further you got into the game. That, to me, seems very much against the nature of what Magic the Gathering as a card game is, where deck experimentation is encouraged by players, but this game seems to want the player to pick one deck and just stick it out for as long as possible. Another problem is that players outlined that there were basically restrictions on how much one could play in a day, which, if you ask me, that sounds like the kind of thing that mobile games do. Apparently you could only collect so much mana in a day before having to stop playing the game because you're not allowed to get any more mana until the next day. Which sounds almost like how games like Transformers Forged to Fight or LEGO Legacy Heroes Unboxed have the energy meter, and once you run out of mission energy, you have to wait for it to recharge or pay money to get more of it. Which this never, none of my research explicitly said, you could pay more money to get more mana in the game. It's just once you collect enough, you have to stop. They had a shop and a season pass that you had to buy into in a beta, which makes no sense at all. Now, I know Halo Infinite did have its season pass in the open beta that you could at least get with currency acquired by playing the game. Anyway, there was apparently problems with item drops when purchasing packs in the game, and that's about the only thing that makes sense to have to me, since, Magic the Gathering is based on a card game where you go to a store and you buy booster packs or whatever else. So it makes sense that Magic the Gathering Legends would have a booster pack buying thing in it. So, you gotta have the option to buy packs to get more cards. And I feel like if someone pays a lot of money, like $100 or more, into their packs, then the drop rate should be, better for them than if I just paid $5 to get one pack. Players have said that the game would have needed a lot of work after the beta before being fully released. There is also the factor that Cryptic Studios didn't want to have to compete with Blizzard releasing Diablo 2 Resurrected around the time that they would have aimed to fully release Magic Legends. And while I get that, given all the controversy though that Blizzard has landed themselves in now, I think that Cryptic Studios would have been fine, and it would not have actually been that much competition from Diablo 2 Resurrected. Now the funny thing to me is that the reason that Cryptic Studios themselves cited as the reason for Magic Legends failing is due to poor financial performance, which is so stupid because how can you tell how well the financial performance of your game is when you don't release it? Plus, from what I heard and found about the insane prices of things in the in-game shop in the beta, it's no wonder people didn't want to spend money on your game. Would I have liked to see this game get fixed and released? Yeah. I think it would have been a really fun game to play and something different from the Magic the Gathering video game camp. Am I disappointed that it didn't get released? No, not really. There are many other games, such as the Diablo games or the Torchlight games, that can fill my or anyone else's action RPG need. I do hope that somewhere along the line a studio could come in and try to do something like Magic the Gathering Legends and, make it to full release. That's all I have to say, so if you're out of the conversation, leave a comment below. As always, thanks for listening, and goodbye.